Walter Roy Dowden was born on the 17th of July, 1918 or 1919, depending on what there was conflicting reports on his actual birth year. The handwritten one said 18, and then all of the typed one said 19. So I'm not too sure, and I didn't dig any further So anyway, that would mean that his birthday's tomorrow. So 99 or 100. And he was born in England. He was 2 years old when he moved to Brantford, Ontario with his mother, father, and 3 brothers. He remained healthy and uninjured for the entirety of his short life. He was the youngest of 4 brothers, born to Walter James Dowden and Elise Violet May Dowden. In his early teens, he was interested in the Army. He was a cadet, a member of the 10th Brant Dragoons and the 54th Battery. Finally, he enlisted as gunner in the 69th Battery, which he joined June 12, 1940. He left his father's tailor shop to follow his military ambitions, but from the evidence I interrogated, he was hopeful for the war to end so he could return home to help with the family business. From reading Walter's letters, I can feel his sense of duty to both his country and his family. Despite his commitment to the Army, he was granted multiple leaves during his training to visit family, one lasting 8 days. Eventually, he chose to follow the long road with the 11th Battery, 12th Canadian Field Regiment over the training fields of Hamilton and Petawawa to England on July 17, 1941, then to Normandy on D-Day, June 6, 1944. Walter was unmarried when he ventured across the Atlantic to train in England, then into the battlefields in Europe. According to Walter's statement of services, he was dedicated to his role in the Army. He received many training certificates in the late 1930s. When training in England in 1941, he met a young woman named Ray. He hoped to marry her after the war. Before sailing to France, he was promoted to Lance Sergeant. He survived the assault on the beaches of June 6th. He made it to the crossroads named, I'll do my best, Puto Umbesing, on the road from Bayeux to Caen. He was shot and killed in battle. In 3 years away from Ontario, he wrote 133 letters home to his parents, talking about his experiences and desire to reconnect with family. Walter was a stand-up guy. Just a few months before his death, he was awarded the Canadian Voluntary Service Medal and Clasp. His last letter to his parents was dated June 3rd, 1944. And I want to read it to you because it just speaks to the kind of person that I investigated him to be, and that's why we're here. So these are Walter's words. Dearest Mom and Dad, I'm writing this week's letter a day early, just in case I don't get a chance to do any writing tomorrow. No mail has come in during the past week, and we don't expect to receive any for a few days yet. Since my last letter to you, I have written to Alex, Joe Martin, Gran and Granddad, Ray, Joan and Fern, and Dorothy, in that order. At this time, I find myself staring into space, wondering what I can write about, what I can say to you folks at home. Much will have happened by the time you receive this. The radio and newspapers will burst forth with news of all the latest happenings as the war goes on. But the radio or the newspapers could not convey to you the thoughts I have at this time. I'm not sure that I can tell you what my thoughts are, or even that I want to tell you. I am part, however small, of a great force, which in the months to come will bring the war in Europe to a great and victorious conclusion. You and I have heard many chaps who, under circumstances such as this, write very touching letters to be forwarded to their loved ones, just in case. I must admit that I thought of it myself, but decided against it. As you know, I am a very practical person. I am also a bit of a fatalist, feeling sure that what is to be will be, that whatever happens, always happens for some good reason, although we may not realize it at the time. Great things are in store for me, for us. I will speak only of myself, but what applies to me also applies to thousands like myself. I am a part, however small, of a great force, which in the months to come will bring the war in Europe to a great and victorious conclusion. It will be hard. Yes, I realize that, and I am ready. You may wonder if I am afraid. I have wondered about that myself and have decided that if I do feel any fear, it must be overrun by other emotions such as curiosity, the will to fight and win, and many other things which I am finding awfully hard to put into words. Of this I am sure. I am not afraid of death. I believe sincerely in a hereafter, and I have no regrets on the life I have led on earth. I have had more than my share of joy and happiness. I have loved and been loved in return. My friends have been good and many, and my experiences in life, although they would not seem important to others, have been most pleasant and interesting. So, although I do not expect to go to the great beyond until I am an old man, I am ready for it when it does come. As for being wounded, well, I thought about that too, and have decided that a hospital could be a most pleasant place, if there are many nurses like Ray around. She begins her training period this month, you know. Now I'm wondering what your thoughts are after reading my letter this far. Have I been too practical, too outspoken? I don't think so, for I have only spoken our thoughts. It's like this, folks. Sid and I, along with the rest, have a job to do. We'll do that job, and we'll look after ourselves while doing it. I know it won't be easy for you folks back home, but we do ask you keep smiling and not to worry. Just carry on as usual for us. Monty himself says that we can beat Germany in 6 months. Think of that. Just 6 months if all goes well. Of the Canucks, Monty is quoted as having said, "The only thing the Canadians will stop for is to read their mail." He can say that again. I'm sorry if this letter sounds rather screwy and perhaps a little too outspoken, but it surely is a screwy world that we are living in just now. But give us just 1 more year and we'll straighten it out this time for good. Well, enough of that. I suppose you are proud of your Lance Sergeant son. You can be every bit as proud of our Sid, for he too has had an important job to do, and he'll do it well. So now there does seem to be very much left for me to say. Once again, I ask you, all of you, not to worry too much. Keep the home fires burning, and with all of us lads over here, look forward and hope and pray for that the glorious day when we'll all be together once again, happy, contented, and free to live our lives as we wish. Keep the letters coming, gang, and I'll write whenever I get the chance. I'll say au revoir for now, and until next time you hear me, cheerio, cherie, and damn it all, keep smiling. God bless you, Mom and Dad, all of you. Loads of love, Walt.